Sweet. I'm going to give just like 2 more minutes, then I'll kind of get started with what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to work on a piece of my site today to help support streams inspired by Tyler Clark, who's on my team. Just basically creating a page similar to what he has on his a live with Tyler page. A button here to get to the channel, and then just an upcoming schedule. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to do is coordinate the different streams that I do and go ahead and plan them out. And then I'll have a page on my website where people can go and see them. And if I have time, Ryan Harris created a React live stream package, which in theory will let me embed my live stream into my React site. So I figured I would test that out and see how it goes. So we'll see. Anyway, kind of depends on time there. A little bit of background. Let's see. My site is built using Gatsby, which is built with React. And what I'm going to have to do is figure out a data source for where I want to store the content for the streams. And it's relatively simple stuff. So I could either do like a JSON file or Markdown files or something like that. Eventually, actually in a couple weeks, I'm going to announce my schedule on Monday. But eventually in a couple weeks, I'm going to move everything to a headless CMS, I think. I really want to try one of those out. It's a pain for me when I do blog posts to create like the folder in here and then the README file or the Markdown file with the front matter and all that stuff. And if any of this is new to people that are on the stream and you're confused by what I'm saying, let me know and I'll clarify what I'm talking about. But it's just kind of a hassle. It's not that nice to have to create this structure for every post. And I could probably like script out to help automate some of that stuff, which I might do. And actually there's a typo in here. GSS Grid is not a thing. It's CSS Grid. So eventually I want to move to a headless CMS and get everything in there. But for the time being, for this page, for storing stream content, I'll either put it in Markdown files or in JSON files. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. And actually, if people have any preference on what they would want to see, feel free to dump that in the chat as well. So I mentioned that Tyler Clark is just joined the DevRel team here at Auth0, which is where we work. And if you're not familiar with Auth0, it's an identity company where we do authorization and authentication services for developers. And really developer focused. So setting up authentication in your apps using Auth0 is incredibly easy. That's who it's geared towards. So if you ever have any questions about that sort of stuff, feel free to reach out and let me know. But in the meantime, just here on Tyler's site, again, he's got his own page live over here and says, catch me on Twitch with a little Twitch icon, which I probably want to try to bring in. And then a view channel. So this will take you to obviously his Twitch page. And then he's got the list of his upcoming streams, which one thing I need is graphics. These are actually really cool. And he's got them templated, right? So this first one and the third one is the same template, just slightly different color and text and images. So that's one of the things I need to do is get templates for the different ones that I do also. So it's a lot easier for me to create images as I go. One thing I have no idea how to do, I have just never done it before, is an add to Google Calendar button. That might be like incredibly easy. It might not. I really don't know. So I want to look at see if I can figure out how he did that and add that to mine as well. And then lastly, like I said, there's the React live stream package from Ryan Harris, if you're interested in following him, that he created to be able to embed a live stream. So in theory, if I create this page and do that on the page, not only can you see the upcoming events, but if I'm streaming, you can actually see the embed of that stream right there. I don't know if that would count for viewers or not. It would be nice if it did, but I don't know if it does or not. So before I get started, and as I get started, I'm just going to treat this like I'm going to be working on my site basically and just kind of talk through what I'm doing along the way. But are people familiar with React and Gatsby and how to pull in data sources with GraphQL? Just want to make sure, like, if you have questions along the way, feel free to jump in the chat and let me know, and I'll try to address them and kind of talk through it as we go. Other than that, I guess I'm just going to kind of dive in. So on my site, source code here, I can get it up and going with Gatsby develop, and that'll start a live reloading server once it gets up and going. And that'll take a second. So if you're not familiar with Gatsby, what it does at build time is it goes and grabs data from whatever the data source is, and you can configure lots of different data sources, and it brings that data in to statically generate HTML pages for my site. So let me open up localhost 8000, and this should be the local copy of my site, and I'm zoomed in a lot. I don't know when I did that. So what I need to do is, one, create a link over here in the nav bar to go to a live page. So to go to that page that we create, then we actually create the page itself. So let me come back and open up the nav bar, and inside of here, let me get a little bit more space. Inside of here are all of my links. I'm just going to, I'm going to actually reorder these to blog up here, and then have one that's live, and it'll go to /live. And any preference, any suggestions on, like, Tyler Clark's URL is live with Tyler. Should I do like just /live or live with James, or any suggestions on that? Throw that in the chat also. I'd love to see what you think there. All right, so we've got that link. Let me save and open this up again in Chrome, and we should see the link here. If I click on it, it's obviously broken. Okay, Kaylee says just do /live. Cool, I'll stick with that then. And I didn't see, I don't know if people made comments in the last like 5 minutes or so. If you did, I don't think they came through. I think my chat froze. So if you did leave a comment in the last 5 minutes, do it again so I can see, and I'll take a look. But with this live link, now if I click live, it'll take me to live, and I don't have a default 404 page. Or I haven't customized one, so it's just picking up the default one from Gatsby, which is not great, so I could probably fix that too. But it's at least going to that page. So that's what we want. So then in Gatsby, the way you create page components is by literally just creating a component inside of a directory called pages. So you can see, but actually here's the default 404. And I don't know where it got that extra stuff in there. It should just say this. So I don't know, but I can come back to that. So with this, I've got the about page, the blog page, contact, contest. That's a different thing. All these different ones. The problem with the page that I'm going to create is that page will need some static content to be able to generate itself. So what I could do is do a page query. Am I doing that on any of my other pages? Where's my... Yeah, so I'll have to do a page query, which will go and grab all of the pieces of data that I need to be able to display, which will be all of the live stream informations. Let's see, what I would do here is just create a component, and this will be live.js, and I've got shortcuts in VS Code for functional components, and this will say going live, whatever. And so if that goes ahead and gets picked up, if I come back to the page and click on the live link, that should take me to this going live page, which obviously doesn't look that great because it needs to be formatted like the rest of them. So let me open up maybe like the blog page again. Do I have that open still? Yeah. And I'm just going to copy, let's see. I'm going to copy this whole thing and just paste it over here. And we'll update stuff in a second, but I'll close that div and the layout as well. And then I need to import those things. And I can get a auto import this way, and SEO is the same way. Auto import that. I think that's close to what we want. So inside of my layout, I have an SEO component, and I can specify here. I actually don't know what sort of type I should do, but keywords be like live stream, Twitch, something like that. And then the title of this page is live. And maybe, like, I don't know if the title should be different or if the title should just be live, even if the URL, like, I feel like the title having James goes live makes more sense than the actual URL. Maybe I'm wrong. Any thoughts on that? Feel free to throw it in there. And then title, I'll leave it as live right now, but I think I kind of want that to be like James goes live or something also. So back on the homepage, if I now click on the live link, I at least get like the layout of the rest of the pages, right? So now I can start to put stuff in there. And actually, let me start. I'm going to start by grabbing something like this. So I'm actually going to copy. Hopefully Tyler doesn't mind. Actually, copy his pretty closely. I'm going to have something almost exactly like this with a little caption here. And I want to do the Twitch icon. And I don't know if, let me see, I'm using, is it Font Awesome? Font Awesome. Am I using those? Where is my, all right, let's look in the nav bar down here at the social follow. Inside of the social follow is where I'm pulling in the Font Awesome icons. And let's see, do they have an FA Twitch? Hopefully, yeah, okay, cool. So I'm using the Font Awesome icons. You can go and look at those. They are fairly standard. And hopefully this will give me a Twitch icon that I can just use. So this will, what I need to do is let me copy one of these social ones. And this is going to put a link in the nav bar or in the social follow, wherever I use it. But this will be twitch.tv/JamesQQuick. And I need to update, I need to create a color for Twitch. So it'll be that purple color. I'll come back to that in a second. And then this one will be FA Twitch. All right, let's see if that's able to grab that icon over here. And cool, so I grabbed that icon and it looks like it'll go to the right page. Sweet, and then we'll get this inception thing where you'll see a video, a stream of me streaming. Cool, so that works. I need to update this. Let's see, since he's already got this this color here, I'm just gonna grab the color from Tyler's page. So on this button, the color is RGB, this thing here. All right, and back in the code, I need to create the CSS for a Twitch class. And I don't know where is this in, is there a social CSS? Yeah. And inside of here, there's all of my different ones. So I'm going to do a.twitch and do color of that purple. And I might, can you convert this in VS Code to hex? I think you can. Anybody know? I think if I do this, yeah, sweet. That's actually really cool. So if you've never seen that, that's a really handy feature in VS Code, is to be, or inside of CSS files in VS Code, is it gives you this like pretty powerful color editor, but then also you can change what the format is there. So Brian M. Dev says, I'll be doing the same thing tonight, showing your stream on your website if you're live. That's the potentially. So if I get that far. So what I'm doing now is just kind of setting up the page, and eventually I'll bring in data from like Markdown files or something, maybe a JSON file. And then I want to look at the extension from Ryan Harris that will embed the stream on the page. So if you haven't seen that, you can try this out later on as well. Here, let me see, at react-livestream, if you're using React. Plugin for VS Code, it's not actually a plugin. That is just built into VS Code now. So if you go into a CSS file, go onto a color, hover, and then click right in that section, then it will, yeah, you don't need a plugin. It's right there. So, all right, got my Twitch color. Let's see if that worked for the button. Cool, so that's kind of dark, which is unfortunate. Maybe I can find a way around that, but that's okay. That works for now. So I've got the Twitch button there, and then I've got it on here also. So this social follow component, this one that's listed here, and this one that's listed here is actually the same component. The only difference is that component takes a property somewhere up here of size, and then I've got a map here to convert whatever someone inputs into the actual size that Font Awesome needs. So this is the same component. This is just a 2x size, and this is just the regular 1x size. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so we got that there. Then we've got our live page. So inside of live, I want to add that little piece of text that says like, I'm going to go live. And if I'm terrible with wording, that's like writing and creating copy and stuff is like one of my worst fears. So if you have suggestions on how to improve that, let me know. But I'm just going to copy that same thing and then come over to the live page and then inside of here, paste that in. And then I'll need to import this font awesome icon, and will I get auto import for FH Twitch? Hopefully, yeah. And I can just define this as, is it 2x is what I'll need? Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that worked. And then why is it not picking up that color? Because it's got this. So I think that that color is only in my social follow. And so maybe I need to move this out. And I don't even know what's my like biggest parent CSS file. Is there anything that makes more sense? I don't like well, one, I could add this color. I could add these color variables to my, what is it? Variables file. Is that what I have? Variables. So I've got these, which I want to completely redo. I'm really not like overly thrilled about the way I've got this set up, but maybe I just need to put this as like a global thing so that I could use it anywhere. So which one is there? Index? Yeah, here's index. And I've got a few things in here. This is getting a little hacky. Let's just see if that works real quick. So that's just putting that same stuff inside of a global style, which it looks like it didn't work. And let's actually make sure that it's getting that style first off. So this one here, class of Twitch, and it doesn't look like it's getting no, it doesn't need a refresh. Let's see. So the Twitch class is not being applied at all. Where is, I'm pretty sure I'm importing. So inside of index.js, let's actually look, index.scss. Inside of layout, I'm importing index.css. So that should pull it in, I would think, unless I don't understand something. Oh, this is inside of a, sorry. This is inside of a media query, which if that would be interesting, not really useful, but if I made this smaller, then now it turns purple. Okay, so that's why. Cool. And probably, like I said, a better way to organize this eventually, probably want to put all these colors inside of variables. I'm also going to move, I think, everything to styled components eventually. So then I'm looking for a fresh start, to be honest, of how I have this site set up. So we've got that color that should show it. That should also link to Twitch TV. So that's good. And then beside that, I just want to put in a little bit of text to say you can find me on Twitch, where I will stream about web development, design, tools, people, skills, etc. All right, does that have a space there? Nope. There we go. So this should just be a little bit of text here, and that's all purple. So we don't want that to be inside of the anchor tag. So let's put all this in a p tag, surround that part, and then paste in that text after the anchor. All right, so that looks good. Could use a little bit of space. I don't know. I think in here you have to do something like this to actually have that space be taken care of. Yeah, so that gives a little bit of gap there. So that works. I might, I kind of want the text to be centered with that image. I won't worry about it too much now. Like that's just a small styling thing. So I'll leave that for now. It doesn't look the best, I don't think, but I think it looks all right. Any questions so far about the site, the setup, and what we're doing? And if there is, let me know, and I'll try to address it. And if we have anybody new in the last few minutes, Commander Root is here. Thanks for coming. Chris on code. What's up, Chris? Thanks for being here. Infamous for show. Cool. Scarebill and VNK and Virgo Pros. Welcome everyone. If you haven't, which I don't have a whole lot going on in chat, let me know what you're interested in, what questions you have, maybe what your background is, stuff like that. And I will keep working in the meantime. So we've got our live page. We've got a little bit of text here as well as a button. And on Tyler's, I'm going to actually pull this tab over to where'd Tyler's page go? Did I lose that page? I think I navigated from here. So let me go back to Tyler's page. He's got the introductory piece of text here. Then he's got the Twitch button. I would like to actually, maybe what I should do eventually is just make like these buttons, because I like the fact that he has that button. Like I can make a Twitch button with those colors and have that be in my buttons category. Anyway, so the next part is to have the upcoming schedule here. So let me go ahead and stub this out with an H2 and say upcoming schedule. And then we'll get into the actual fun part. So what we need to do is figure out a data source for these streams. The content for the streams. Eventually, like I said, I'm going to move this to, some sort of content, headless CMS. I really want to move away from keeping all this data in my project. That's actually going to be either next week or the week after. So stay tuned for that stream. But for now, I'm really thinking, unless anybody has any suggestions, I'm thinking about either just Markdown files or a JSON file. And for this, I'm thinking a JSON file would be simpler. And the reason is there's only so many pieces of information that I need, right? So I need a title, I need a description, I need a date, and that I could just enter that as a string as well, something like that. And I'll need something to actually, I probably need to format it a way that JavaScript can understand so that I can order these. And yeah, so in the chat, any preference on pulling in this information from a JSON file or Markdown files? Either way is good with me. So far, I used to use JSON files for my talks, Markdown files for my talks, but then I ended up just moving them into a talks category. So I might just continue with that. I might continue down the path of having a Markdown file for each one of these, the same way I have my talk set up. I think that might be the easiest for now. So if no one has any preference, I'll go ahead and do that. So inside of data, I'm going to create a new folder called live streams. And then I'm just going to copy one of these files into there. So inside of live streams, here's a copy. Let's say the first one, let's actually go with today. So 2020, not 19, which is wild. 3, and today is the 26th. And by the way, I'm sure other people have gone through this as well. When you're doing dates that then need to be sorted, doing it by month, date, and then year doesn't really help you, because different years will kind of mess up your format or your ordering. So I made sure to include the date first, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the title of the Markdown file. That's not necessarily what's important. It's the metadata, the front matter, which we'll see in a second. Thoughts about using backend CMS? Yes, that's what I'm going to do in a couple of weeks. I've heard so many good things about Sanity that I'm thinking about going and trying out Sanity. I desperately want to get away from all the Markdown files included in the source code. I think that will be really good for me personally. The hesitation I've had about that in the past is just, what if you get to that level of scale where you have to pay? And I don't want to pay $50, $100 a month to use a headless CMS if I can avoid it. So anyway, if I get to that point, then I'll figure it out. But I am planning on moving to Sanity, I think, in the next couple of weeks. So this is build live stream page. And the name of this file, again, doesn't really matter. It's just for me to really understand. So information that I need, I don't need a conference because this is not a talk. Title, add a live stream page to my site, and just to specify for people, Gatsby site. And I don't think I need a separate individual page for this. So if we look at my site for, and I may not even need this for speaking, to be honest, but on my speaking page, I've got information and it's kind of abbreviated, and then I can go to the full details page here and see the whole thing. Like with this, I don't think I need the whole separate page, so I'm not even going to worry about a slug. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to update the 2020 3/26, and there won't be, will there be a link? I'm thinking, so after I'm thinking about how I'm going to use this, should I also store on here the previous streams, which I probably should, like have a section for previous streams as well as upcoming streams. I think so. So I'm gonna make this property a video link property, and yeah, so we'll use that. And then published in here will be true for now. Type of conference. Actually, I could just put this on my speaking page, but I want this to be separate enough, I think. Leaked text, I don't need that. And then inside of description, most of these are going to be super short, but I'm going to add a live stream page to my personal Gatsby site. All right. Some people recommended Forestry.io, which builds on number of users. Cool. I've heard good things about Forestry as well. That's one of the like wild things is that there's so many options. It's like impossible to know everything about all of them, right? So you just got to pick one and choose. So I think I had enough conversation in a relatively like popular thread that I started about headless CMSs a while back. And I think it was the founder of Sanity got on and like really clarified some stuff. And I just really appreciated that interaction. So I'm wanting to support him and Sanity by using them first and foremost. But yeah, I've heard good things about Forestry. I've heard good things about Contentful. I've used Cosmic before in some demos. Yeah, lots of different options that are really, really cool. So, all right. So does anybody see, eventually I'll need an image. And by default, I'm just stubbing these out. Like if I don't have an image for my blog post, because I don't feel like doing one for every one, some of the smaller blog posts that I do, I just default to images and then what is it, a placeholder image. And that's because if we try to actually use that image and the property is not there, Gatsby will break. So I just do, what is interview logo? Which one is this? Cover, placeholder cover. All right. So covers, placeholder, cover, JPEG. And I'm not going to worry about images yet for the most part because I don't have like templates for these streams, which I need to get. But for the time being, this is what I got. All right, so somebody double check me. Anything else I need? So I've got the title of the stream. I've got the date. I will need a video link that I will update after the fact. So maybe to start, I'll just leave it as James Q Quick. I'll just leave it as a Twitch link. And how do I make this go away? There we go. So I've got the title, the date, the link to the video, which will be on YouTube after the fact. So that's when I'm going to update this to include the link to the YouTube video. Published is a way for me to track whether or not I actually want it to be live on the site. And then the cover image and general description here. So that looks good to me. One of the things that we can do, which is really cool, and I may need to restart, I have to double check here, is with Gatsby, it comes integrated with GraphQL Graphical, a tool for doing GraphQL stuff, which is soups sweet. So you can test out your GraphQL stuff here. If I do all Markdown remark, or if I don't, fluid, maybe I'll just get rid of this image. Let me get rid of that. And this is Markdown ID, front matter, title, snippets. Why is that getting that specific one? Let me just start over. And let's do all Markdown remark and edges and nodes and title, or just ID. Oh, that way. Yeah, that way. All right, so this is getting an ID for every Markdown file that I have inside of my project. And if you look in here under data, I've got different sets of data: live streams, posts, snippets, and talks. I haven't actually done anything with snippets yet, but I can in the future. So I've got the ID property here, and then if I want, I could grab front matter and the title property. And hopefully when we run this, I'll be able to go through and see these are all talks that I've given, blog posts. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom, sweet. All right, so I'm able to query this, which is really good. And then now I need to query like this specific query for live stream information. I need to get only inside of that streams or live, what I call it, live streams folder. Yeah, live stream. So inside of blog, I think blog does this in its query, where one, I should do a sort, so I can grab that. So let's do, I don't have anything to test with yet because I only have one, but I'm gonna need to do a sort. So this is gonna go inside of here. And so this is gonna sort them based on publish date, which am I using that in all of, what day? See, this is just using date. That one is using publish date. I'll just leave this as date. So let me grab, and I don't know if this will throw an error or not. Let me see. Will this throw an error on some of these? Maybe not. So some of them just don't have that date property. So you can see that it moved this WordPress thing up. So it sorted that, although it looks a little odd because it shouldn't be. Oh, because out of all the Markdown files that I have, it's the most recent of the ones that actually have a date property. So all of the talks have a date property. Actually, maybe not. Some of these are off. Okay, I got to come back to that. But we want to sort them, and then also we want to filter, which equals true. Okay, so this filter in here, what this will do, and how does that? All right, so it just comes after the sort. Did it have a comma or anything? Sort is closed by a bracket. Okay, so after that, like this. And what I'm doing here is looking for all Markdown files that have a front matter property of sort, or not sort, published is true. So I don't want to get stuff that's not published yet. And then also I want to move this to be my live streams directory by using regex there, and make sure that this is live streams right here. Yeah, so that looks right. So let's do another query, and now we should just get one, which is great. Now let's check this out, and let's do a second one. And let's see, I think I had these in my notes somewhere, what I was gonna do next week. Let me grab that. So next week I'm just gonna experiment with the Twitch API for the first time. So what I'll do is go ahead and rename this one to 2020. That will be April 4th, or no, April 2nd. So 4-2, and this is experiment Twitch API, and I think I misspelled that dash. There we go. So the title of this one will be experiment with the Twitch API, and then this will be 4-2, and same URL, same cover image, and this will be I'm going to explore the Twitch API for the first time. Okay, so I've got a new file in here now. If I query, I should get 2 of them, which is good. And the Twitch API one comes first, and the live stream page to my Gatsby site comes last. So I think, is this just, can I do ascending? Yeah, I think I want ascending, where for these, or maybe I need to split these out. I'll have to come back to this. I want these to be ascending because I want it to be like, what's the closest one coming up? So eventually I need to separate these into like a group of ones that have already happened and a group of ones that are yet to happen. So what I could do just to kind of sub that out a little bit. Inside of my live page, I'm going to have a previous streams. So upcoming and previous. And what I'll do is I'll just query all of them. And then I will iterate through all of them and choose which ones are before or after today. That's actually gonna be interesting because I'll have to figure out how to compare dates and stuff. But for this, I think that will work. So I'll have a list of all of them, and then I'll have to separate that out into two different lists. So let me think. Let's actually add another post here. So I'm going to copy this again, and this will be in January, for example, and this will be a test live stream. All right, and this is a test. Actually, I'll go ahead and use a real one because I've got one. So CSS Grid Challenges. CSS Grid Challenges was last week. What was that date? It wasn't Thursday, it was Wednesday, so it was the 18th. So 3/18, and I've actually got a video to that. So we go to YouTube, to my channel, and grab the CSS Grid Live Challenges. That didn't go where I wanted. Do that. And let me grab this URL. All right, so in the video link, I'll put the actual YouTube video. So this is what I want eventually anyway. And then this one, and this stream, Brian Robinson. Brian, are you in the chat anymore? Brian Robinson joins me to test my knowledge of CSS Grid. We walk through 3 different intermediate CSS Grid challenges live. Okay, and then I'll update this for the real date here too. So this was 3, what did I say it was? 18, and this was live, or CSS Grid Challenges, period. Cool. All right, so now I've got 3 in here, and what I want to be able to do is to separate these into already happened and currently happening. So in order of furthest back to longest in the future is the CSS Grid Challenges, then the one that I'm doing today, and the experiment with the Twitch API next week. So that makes sense. Cool, so now I need to actually query these things. So to do that, I can actually just take this whole query. I'm going to copy that query from Graphical, and then inside, let me close a few of these files. Inside of my live page, I'm actually going to copy this thing also. So inside of here, and then do I have what I pasted or copied before? Yeah. So let's see if this works. Save that. Okay. So the way Gatsby works, if you haven't seen this before, remove related videos. Sorry, separate thing. Inside of here, the way Gatsby works is for a page component, you can define a page query, and this will do whatever query that you're defining here, and it will pass that to your component as a property named data, I think. So let's log out data on this and see if it comes back. So on the page, on the live page, and check the console, hopefully we see all Markdown remark. All right, edges, and okay, edges. So if I log out the data.all Markdown remark, and basically this is just like, this is actually a plugin that you configure, and I think it might come default, I'm not sure, but you configure it with Gatsby inside of your config. Not that part, but not the feed part. Where is it? Let's see. not the feeds part. Where is this thing? Oh, further up at the top. Transformer remark will allow me to, or no, sorry, Gatsby source file system. By defining Gatsby source file system to look in my data folder, then I can define, I think somewhere is my actual Markdown. Is that not in here at all? Maybe that comes, okay, maybe that happens by default. Maybe just by defining my file system to look at that data directory, then I can use the Gatsby Markdown remark to go and get all of that data. So I guess it's this thing that's really important here. All right, cool. So I'm able to get that thing, all Markdown remark, and then this will be edges, is that what we said? And then each one of the edges will have a property of node, which is a little tedious to get through, but whatever. You see down here, now it's able to log them out, and I can see the front matter for each one. I'm only querying the title. Now I need to update to get the rest of the data. So in that query down here, I want the title, date, also going to get the HTML from the post, which is just outside of the front matter. So the date, the video link, and then I'll grab the image too. And let's see, which one is this? Fail on video link. Can I query video link? Is that not in video link? Is that not a thing for all of them? Looks like it is. Why can't I query video link? In the front matter, are you sure? If I'm only getting ones that are inside of live streams, I'm not sure why that is yelling at me. Let's go back to graphical. And in the front matter, video. I guess it doesn't take into account the fact that it's only looking at ones inside of the live streams folder. Cannot query field. Odd, okay. So I could configure these differently later on, but for now, I can just update this to a property of link in each one. And where's my other Markdown file? And this shouldn't be copy, should be that way. Link and video link. So since I'm only using like one data source, which you can split them out into multiple data sources also if you want to, but since I'm using one data source, I can't query a property that is not on all of them, I guess. Let me see if that worked. So if I try to query link now, it likes that, and I get the link. So title, link, and then I don't know how I got two cursors. Date and HTML, and prettify that. All right, so I've got the ID, the HTML, the title of the link. Link is coming back null in one of them. Which one is that? In the CSS Grid one? CSS Grid. Oh, I didn't update that. All right, that should be link. And then published and image are probably the other two properties that I want. So back in here, let's do published and image, date, link, title. So I think that'll give me everything. What did I see? A little red there. Can I query image on type? Same thing. Wow. Okay. See, I might need to split these out into different data sources eventually, but cover image, and then the last one will be cover image also. All right, now will that query work? Cool, lots of warning. I need to go back and do that. All right, so inside of the site, I should be able to see if I refresh in the console, it should log out those three items, and then each one should have the properties that I'm looking for. So ID, I didn't grab the HTML, and it didn't grab, oh, did this Did that break again? No, not that. That is not what I meant to go to. Live page. Did you bring cover image? I've typed file. Oh, so cover image. Actually, I'm gonna not query for cover image right now. That'll be because it's using Gatsby image. It wants to like transform that thing. I don't need it right this second. So I'm gonna, I can't, dang it. I'm just gonna get rid of that completely then. And this is saying that GraphQL here should be imported instead of the default one. So import from Gatsby. All right. Let's try again on our page here. If we refresh, what just happened? Did that just close? No. Okay, there it is. So we should see our data. It's got the node, the ID, the HTML. So that's the entire content. And then the title, the date, the link, and publish. Cool. So if I were to take this and display it, I've actually got, how am I displaying these in blog? Because I want them all to look familiar to each other. So in blog, I'm doing a card. And I, again, want to update these eventually, but I don't have to yet. So I'm just going to paste this in. Let me import this card component. And instead of post, this will be streams. So individual stream. And here's all of the streams. Now to get them in the right format that I want, I don't want to have to go to it's .edges .node for each one. So I think what I want to do is say const streams equals, and then take data.all markdown remark and edges, and take each edge. And then I want to return an object that has, basically I want to return what's inside of node. Is that how I would do that? Let me see if that looks right. And before it breaks down here, I'm going to comment this out for now. All right, let me see if I'm formatting that correctly, if I don't have an error. Error, data is not defined. Yes, because it's not spelled datsa. All right, let's look at what this looks like. It broke. Okay, so it's not .edges. What was it? All markdown remark. .node. Is that not? Did I not do that? Data.all markdown remark .edges. And for each edge, I want to grab the node property. Is that not right? So inside of here, each one of these is an object that has a property of node, and it has all of them. How, anybody in the stream see where I'm messing that logic up? So I go for each one of my edges, and I basically want to, because I didn't actually call anything. .map. I want to map these things. And the way map works, it'll go through each one. You do some sort of transformation, which is basically I'm converting edge to the node object inside of it. And then it should put it out in this array of streams. All right, let's try this again. Let's run. Looks like it came back. So now each one of these objects has ID, HTML, and front matter and other things. All right, cool. So that's working. So then at the bottom here, and actually one of the things I like to do also is I'm going to actually customize this a little bit, because I don't necessarily need my properties to be separated like under front matter. So right now it's like ID, HTML, front matter, and then several properties in front matter. I don't necessarily want it like that. So I'm going to do this like this. And what this is saying is I'm going to return an object, and it's going to have a title of edge.node.title. or front matter, actually, front matter.title. Date will be edge.node. Actually, as I'm rethinking this, I don't have to copy all of these. I can just say spread out everything in edge.node.frontMatter. So everything that's in the front matter, go ahead and copy that into the object, and then I'll take the ID as edge.node. Is it underscore ID or nope, just regular ID.ID. And then the HTML will be edge node HTML. All right, let's see what that looks like. Down at the bottom. All right, now each object has the properties that I care about. Title, date, link, published, ID, and HTML. Sweet, so that's what I was trying to do. Now inside of here, I wanna use those. So for the card object, I'm gonna uncomment this, and then I'm gonna do a replace of post for stream everywhere. And I don't need tags, and I don't need, I guess I could use this. Link is the link. The description is HTML. Publish date is the date. Let me see if those things map up correctly. All the way at the bottom of this log. Okay, so that's at least getting pretty close. Sweet, so that's like pretty close to what we want. Now I don't know why this is showing the p tags this way. And I guess, so what am I doing differently inside of, like, does the card component, is it dangerously set HTML? Where is it? It doesn't look like it does. Where's the description here? So this should actually use dangerously set HTML that I don't know how, I don't know what it is right offhand. Inside of here. All right, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Am I using it anywhere in this project? Yeah, all right. Let me grab this thing and just use this in the card link here, or card description. So dangerously set HTML, and the HTML here is going to be the, what was it, the details? Is that what I had it as before? Or was it description? Description? Oh, right there, yeah. Okay, now let me see if those p tags go away. Nope. Or if I refresh. Nope, something broke. Objects are not valid as a React child if you meant to render use an array instead. Let's see, maybe it's this thing, I'm not sure. I don't need that. So description here, and I'm setting the description in the other one to string.html. That should just be a string. This is still not liking this. I'm gonna sit down too after standing for a while. So it looks like it's a problem in the map. So inside of the map, objects are not valid as a React child. The H found object with keys. What's the, when it printed these things out? So it's got the HTML property right there, which is just a string. Does which part are you asking about? Which part needs to go in a tag? Oh, yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think this goes inside of the p tag. Is that what you're saying? I think that's right. Let's see. Yeah, that sounds right. And it looks like it's liking it more. Let's refresh. Hopefully that works. Cool, sweet. Good catch. Thank you. Um, these are also listed as H2s, which I have an H2 up here, so that looks a little bit odd. Yeah, good call, Brian. Thank you for that. So I wonder, like, this is gonna get into a design thing, but I need some way to like split those up. I mean, I guess I could just convert these two to H1s, which I feel like I don't, which is fine, I guess. So H1, and then that makes those a little bit bigger, and these, yeah, I mean, that's okay. I'm still like, design-wise on the site, I want to redo a lot of stuff, but it is what it is for now. So these links should work. Like this video, this should go. No, it shouldn't. Because you can see actually it tries to go to localhost and then the YouTube URL. That's okay, except we need to somehow specify that this is not a local URL. And in the card component again, card component, linked link. I feel like I had this problem before and I can't remember what I did. So this is using, let's see. I could pass in a property. I feel like I'd done this before with something. I'm almost positive I did. Let me see. Inside of the talk template, talk.title. Where's the link in here? href talk.link. So the thing I'm struggling with is like right now it's using the link tag in Gatsby, which automatically is looking to go to a local URL. But I really need an external link. This feels hacky, I guess, but is link local. I set a conditional before the render to see if HTTP was in the string. Yeah, you could do that. I'm thinking then return an A tag. Yeah. So I'm basically the same kind of thing. I think instead of me parsing the URL myself, I'm just gonna set a property in here that defaults to true for is link local, and then say is link local, and do that thing, and then change it to be a ternary. So if link is local, do that. Otherwise, do an A tag with an H2 card title inside of it with a property of title, and then it will go to the link. So I think this is the same kind of thing that you're saying. I'm just going to pass a Boolean to that component so that it knows. And then inside of inside of live, I need to pass is link local and set it to false. So it defaults to true up here. Whereas the defaults to true, now I'm just specifying false, which should mean it'll render it as a regular anchor tag, like you were saying. So let's see. Cool. So that looks like it works. One of the things I also need to do in everywhere is update all of my links, all of my non-local links to open up in a new page. And I can never remember how to do this. Just target equals blank. And then I'm getting a warning inside of here that says you also have to have, or should have, this thing. I don't actually know what this is. Does anybody know what the rel no opener, no refer thing is? If you do, let me know. Links across origin destinations are unsafe. Let me see. How will affect when you insert a link, the code will look like this. What's up, Ryan? Actually, Ryan, if you're hanging out for a few minutes, I'm pretty close to doing, and I could just pivot right now to actually try your extension if you want. In the meantime, does anybody have a short explanation of what the no refer, no opener is in links? To address security aspects which can be exploited by malicious websites, with the help of JavaScript, we can allow a new tab to be controlled by its referring window. Let's do it. I'm just going to grab some tea. Cool. All right, Ryan, let me know when you're back, and I will pivot really quickly to using your extension, which I'm really excited about. It's the security thing. Does this thing... I feel like my chat doesn't scroll. There we go. Okay, I mean, I'm good with that. So I need to actually go in and use, like, update all of mine to use this, but I wonder if I can do this. Can I grab this, search for it globally, and then do a global replace with this thing plus this thing? All right, so anytime target is blank, I want to, let's go ahead and find it. So how many times am I doing? Just once, okay. I need to update all of my Markdown files also to have like regular anchor tag links with that included. Anyway, looks like, am I doing that in talk.js also? Let me look at, because it's giving me warning, talk.js, href. Yeah, okay. So I'm doing that in here also. And so let me grab this thing here. Not usually the order I would put those in, but, and then I'm getting the same warning inside of uses. I've got a lot of those. Oh, and I think that's wrong anyway. It should be 2 underscores, right? If somebody sees it. Or wait, oh, that's totally wrong. So what, let me make sure this is what it's supposed to be. Hold on. Open link in new tab. Okay, so target equals underscore blank. So what was I just doing? That's because this is not right at all. All right, let me search for this. I'm just gonna update these links, Ryan, and then I'll move over. I don't think this does multi-line stuff, actually. Is that not anywhere? Did I do it right? Whatever. Is it, God, I keep getting confused. Is it 1 underscore or no? Open link in new tab. 1 underscore or 2? Just 1 underscore. Okay. So anytime I do this, I'll search for that. No, I'm not replacing yet. I just want to find it. All right, so that is wrong. Should be like this, and then it's got the no rel. And then where else am I using target in here? Not package.json inside of this one. I just updated with this thing. And e.target, not that. Target blank, promotional banner. All right, add that one there as well. Social follow under each of the targets. The boring stuff. YouTube subscribe. All right, I've already got that one. And then I think that's mostly it except for this one. All right, I'll come back to that if I have any more later on. I will solve them. Looks like I definitely do inside of the uses page. All right, let me go ahead and do that then. Actually, I'm gonna skip it because I don't care. All right, so Ryan, what I have right now is I'm able to, yeah, I was just about to actually answer the question that you just asked. So I've got this page stepped out. I've got a list of upcoming streams that is just right now a list of all of my streams. So what I'm gonna do is I'll have a list of updated ones that are right there, and then I'll have a list of like previous streams as well. So I've got all of them listed right here in upcoming, but I won't do this right now because I actually want to do your extension. Instead, I'm going to split these out to, based on today's date, I'm going to split them between previous and upcoming. So, which actually gets interesting because I'll have to have some way, it's not going to automatically take care of itself because it's a static site, but whatever. All right, so this is what I got on the page so far. I still feel like the chat window doesn't scroll in Twitch, maybe this is a reason to go and like get my rats. I don't know why this. I'm gonna refresh my page. The chat window, unlike this new page, doesn't scroll, so I'm gonna miss some of them. Ryan, no, I'm not using the Twitch API yet. This is all just pulling from. That's a good idea. But anyway, this is all pulling from Markdown files. So this is not pulling from the Twitch API at all. Which, like, I don't know that you could, like, you can't schedule out specific stream information in Twitch, right? So I don't think I would be able to get this sort of information. I could get like maybe I'll use the Twitch API for previous streams. Maybe I'll do that. And only get the ones in here for upcoming streams and then pull the ones for previous ones dynamically. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, so right now, no Twitch API integration. And then let's go over to React Livestream. And I'm gonna save this stuff. Added pulling in data from Markdown files for Twitch streams. Excuse the typos. You can set a schedule in your profile settings. Might be able to get that via the API too. But the schedule is just like generic schedule, right? Like you can't schedule out specific ones, can you? If you can, this would get really fun. Let me look in mine. I don't think people can see anything private as long as I hide my secret key. Is that in settings? Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can't, and that's what I thought too. You can't schedule like a specific one. So I want to get information about like, here's the specific thing that I'll be doing at that time, if that makes sense. All right, so on your page, currently works with different platforms, allows you to use a React component, which will embed an iframe. So in theory, if this works, then we should actually see this stream embedded in the site, which will be fun. If you are not broadcasting, nothing will be rendered to the DOM unless you choose to pass an additional optional JSX element as the offline component. Got it. And that actually, yeah, I kind of want to do, well, actually, let's just start with the default one. Anyway, so, all right, npm install React Livestream is how we get started. React, is it 2 dashes? Nope, 1. React Livestream. So I'll install this package. I guess I don't have to do, it's not a Gatsby plugin, so I don't have to do any extra configurations or anything inside of the Gatsby config. So let me just grab this thing and minimize this folder, get rid of these console logs, and I just cut that, so I got rid of my clipboard. All right, inside of here, probably at the top, so before upcoming streams, I can have this thing. Now I won't use offline component yet, won't use mixer channel, Twitch I'm using, and then platform, I think you said, I guess I didn't need brackets, but I think in your docs it says, dang, that this can just be a specific, yeah, Twitch, cool. So just a string of Twitch. And then I need to grab my Twitch client ID and Twitch username. So my username is James Q Quick. And then the client ID, that's the private thing that no one else should see. That's right. And I probably want this to come, well, I definitely want this to come from an environment variable then. Okay. All right. I'm going to I just realized that when I switched scenes, my audio wasn't in the new scene anyway, so I like was talking and saying, someone confirm that you can't see my client ID or my stuff. And nobody was confirming, but that's because you couldn't hear me. So I'm taking this off screen for a second. So I'll still be talking here, but I'm gonna do the work off screen. So inside of my Twitch, I'm gonna go and grab that client ID. And this is in what, channels and videos? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna copy that, put it in my .env file, get rid of it. And actually in Gatsby, do you have to prefix your environment variables with Gatsby? Is that right? Variables, Gatsby. I feel like you do. I'm not 100% sure on that. User. Let's see. Let's check the docs here. Well, that just went away. Okay, yeah. So I think you have to prefix those with Gatsby if you want to use them during the build. Gatsby _ all right, so that is what that thing is going to be. .env is gone. You shouldn't be able to see that. All right. So then inside of the client ID, I want to do process.env dot shit. What's in my clipboard? Make sure I'm not pasting the wrong thing. Yeah, this is what I want. So inside of my .env, I created my Gatsby Twitch client ID, which hopefully no one saw. So that's good. Is this going to be embedded in the static site that is built? I think this is where it gets a combination of static and dynamic. So you can do real-time stuff with your JavaScript. So like if you actually make a call real time to an API in Gatsby, you can still do dynamic stuff. It makes a call on render to display. Yeah. So every time it renders, it will make a call every time. I wonder if that will be an issue or not. But if you go live after the page load, it won't show up till refresh. Yes, that makes sense. Does it do on every render or first render? Okay. Yep. Good clarification. And I'm still, somebody show me where to pop out the chat. Cause this thing is like Twitch has a new screen or something and I cannot scroll and I see a collapse button, but I don't know where. Chat settings, clear chat. It's in the gear button at the top of the chat. I don't actually have, and it just moved the damn thing off my screen again. Wow. All right. I'm refreshing this again because I can't even see the settings that you're talking about, unfortunately. Which is wild. I think I need to restart my development server anyway. So the settings are down here for me. Chat settings, recent raids, pause chat. In my chat settings, I don't see a... Oh, switch to non-mod settings? Is that... Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. react-livestream is not defined. Need to pull that in. react-livestream. Am I not going to get IntelliSense for that? I guess not. And is this a default import? Let's see. Oh, from Twitch plugin. Okay. That's a... I always get confused on whether or not live stream is one word. I feel like I spell it out as two a lot, but all right. So lowercase s, does that work? Cannot find in. Did the thing not get installed? Package.json, React Live. The package is there. Oh, I think. So inside of your. I think you need to update the docs then to do that. That makes sense. But this says Twitch plugin. Cool. All right, so this will be from, which I thought that was weird. I didn't know why it would be different. React Live Stream. All right, now let's do Gatsby develop. Oh, so that was like you used to call it that before you open it up for YouTube and what's the Mixer? Also, have y'all used YouTube Live? Have you done that before? So this thinks that React. Brian, how has YouTube Live worked for you? Because I'm definitely going to try it out. Is there, do I have a typo again in here or what? React live stream. I mean, that's what I ran before, right? npm install React live stream. I'll do it again. I thought I use Restream to broadcast to a bunch of platforms. For better or for worse, you can schedule ahead using YouTube Live. So I like the idea of that. I also have a decent following on YouTube, so I figured like I should probably try to take advantage of like already having people there. And I like the fact that you can schedule ahead. That's cool. I thought it was weird. I thought you would have to do that with Twitch. I was surprised that like there's no formal events. I expected there to be a different URL for different streams, but there's not. It's just like your channel. Obviously, you probably know that at this point, but that was really surprising for me. All right, let's see if this will run now. Back in the house. What's up, Chris? Sorry you've been distracted from all those other cool kids out there. Yeah, I've got to move my stream times. Huh. All right. Dependency was not found. This isn't a Gatsby thing, right? Like not every. Oh, stop. I mean, it's definitely installed. So it's not looking. All right. Will this give me, just in case I'm importing this wrong, I type React live stream. No, it's not giving me IntelliSense. React live stream is not defined. You shouldn't have to. Like npm does that by default now, and it's in my package.json, but I'll give it a shot. Npm install -- save. Well, React live stream. Yeah, that's a default setting. So like used to, you had to specify -- save, and then they realized like, why would you not want to do that? And then it became a default. Now it's a default, so you don't have to type it in general, as far as I know. And then let me try. Will this give me React live? It's still not. It's not picking it up for some reason. ESLint loader is throwing. Looks like the ESLint loader is throwing the error inside of JavaScript or inside of the file. All right, so I'm getting IntelliSense in here for the package itself and the terminal when yeah, well, that one was a second ago. I got rid of it. Let me try one more time. I had like actually fully gotten rid of the import. So that was why it threw one of those, if that's what you're talking about. No. What the hell? I don't know. Well, this is good to have people test it out, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just failing to find it, but it does remove node modules. All right. I can do that. I can also get rid of, I can't remember what that cache is for, but I can get rid of that too. Was that the dot? How do you, hey, dang, my thing is still doing this thing again. Shit. I still, I changed my settings and I still can't scroll in chat. It's this new Twitch window that they created. Brian, or damn it, Ryan, can you just put your chat back in there? Whatever it was you said last. Oh, about the Gatsby cache. Is that the dot cache? Is that where that comes from? Is Gatsby? Or is that a Netlify dev thing? I can't remember. I'm assuming that I got rid of this. Okay, cool. So I'll try to, oh shit. npm install first. npm install. Oh, cool. I didn't know about Gatsby clean. That's interesting. Does Gatsby clean get rid of the node modules directory too, or just the cache? Probably just the cache, not node modules. Yeah, okay. Chris, did you see any cool stuff in the other streams? How was Jason's thing? Docs, they import real. I bet it was. Shit, 21,000 views? Dang, that's wild. That's crazy. And she's a huge name too, so that combination must have been amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely rescheduling my stuff to not, and I haven't actually checked in on any of his live. Yeah, Brian, Ryan, we talked about that earlier. Looks like maybe it actually is right. Maybe it's worth a shot, but it looks like the documentation he just forgot to update. So I think it should be what we had. All right, and then so like if I import X from React, I'm just wondering if I get, well, it's not giving me anything now. I don't know why. Maybe it's because that's not a real import X from. I don't know why it's not giving me IntelliSense there. So we'll run it with what we had and see. Because it did give me IntelliSense on this package at some point, which means it at least recognized that the package was there. Maybe, is there any chance that you change the name of the object, of the default export? Well, it's a default export. Never mind. It can be whatever I want it to be. My dog's waking up back there. I don't know if you can see her. Dependency was not found React live stream. I don't know. And I guess obviously like yours is working in, well, you said you hadn't put it in your site. Have you, like, obviously you've tested it somewhere though, right? I would imagine so. Haven't tested it. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what implications it would, like you don't have to have the Gatsby. You don't have to have a Gatsby plugin for stuff. You can use just regular React stuff too. Like all of these things are not. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. Yeah, try that out and let me know. For now, I will go ahead and comment that out, and then I won't have it there. The only other thing, what is on this users page? I'm going to go ahead and clean that up. Use this page. I'm going to add, and I need to update this uses thing too. Let's search for that. let's replace it with that thing plus this thing. That'll get some of my warnings to go away. Not that one, but that one. Not in here, not in here, not in here, not in here. Oh gosh. In resources, that might be one also that I need to do. Yep. So go ahead and update it in resources. And then in the use this page, also talk has it, teaching. These need it too. Okay. All right, so those should be cleaned up, which is good. And then I've just got a lot of things that are not used. I don't know why I have so many of those. I guess I moved stuff out at some point. Oh, I ended up getting rid of a lot of stuff in the teaching page to make it a lot simpler. Am I not using this either? Data. What was I querying for? Or is that just a test? Oh, that was for that image. But I'm not even using the image now. All right. For anybody that's left, so I basically accomplished what I want to. I've got some stuff to still get right. Mainly right now just to be able to separate upcoming from previous. But the problem is this is going to... it's a build time thing with Gatsby, so I need to figure out a way to, like... I don't know, trigger a rebuild every once in a while. Which I could... I don't know the best way to do that, honestly, right offhand, but I could figure that out. So I need to take these lists of streams and split them out into previous and upcoming. And then I'll more or less have what I want, and then it's just like a design thing from there. So any questions, comments, people in the chat? I don't think my disk files are being tracked by Git, which is why it's not working. Oh, okay. Ryan, I can hang on a few more minutes if you want to try to push update. Thanks, Chris. Hey, Chris, by the way, I'm going to send you a link to a Calendly if you want to pick a time to come and join me for a channel, and we can talk about, or a stream to talk about accessibility, CSS, whatever. Yes. What you got going on? What's cool? Come on. Come on. Zevi, come here. Come here, girl. So myself and Ben Hong are going to recreate your HP app, but with supernatural characters in Vue or... Oh, sweet. Yeah, please do that. That's great. Vue is one of the ones that I need to get into as well. That's a great demo to, like, a great simple demo to do for Vue also. Sweet. Yeah, send me an intro. That'd be great. And then are you going to live stream that or like a recorded video, or what are you thinking? I'll definitely come and check it out. Oh, Brian, are you a Vue guy? Yeah, that should be... So I think Dan Vega is going to come on and do Gridsome with me. And so I need to do a little bit of Vue before that. So if anyone's interested in kind of helping me do a getting started with Vue on the stream, let me know. That would be really helpful for me. And then Ryan is supposed to help you figure out slobs. What is that? It might work. Is that OBS? Oh, Streamlabs OBS. Okay, gotcha. So what is Streamlabs its own thing? Like I said, like it's in beta for Mac, right? I thought it was its own thing, but it says like Streamlabs. It says Streamlabs OBS. So I don't know. I don't actually know what is it related to OBS, or is it just like a replacement for OBS, or what? I'm not sure. npm update react live stream. It's like OBS Studio but with built-in Streamlabs widgets integrations. Okay, so is it... Oh, it's built on top of OBS, isn't it? I think that's what it was. So yeah, I've got to check that out. It's a customized version of OBS. Yeah, okay. Oh, sweet. Yeah, because obviously I don't have chat in mind, which is killing me right now because this damn thing won't scroll. All right, so this, you said 1.2 was the version. Is that right? Is that the right version? Okay, cool. All right, so back in live, let's comment this back in. And I wonder, actually, let me get rid of that import explicitly. And let me see if it'll give me IntelliSense on it. That'll be a good sign if it does. So React live, it didn't. So let me grab the import again. All right, import's in there. And then down here, let's do this thing. Let's do Gatsby develop. My dog's getting hyper now. What do you want? Building, building, building. Something happened that looks like it's good. So inside of my page now, if I refresh, well, failed mixer channel ID is invalid, but received. Oh, do you have prop types that define all those to be required? It didn't yell at me in here. Prop types, mixer channel ID is invalid. It must be a function. They're actually optional and have default props. One, I need to add a key to each of my items in here, so that's on me. So this thing should be card ID of stream.id. So that'll take care of one of those warnings. Oh, that's not what I wanted to go to. Let me refresh. Twitch support requires a Twitch client ID, and I thought I just did the key, or I did ID instead of key. Key, and then so here's my username, and then Twitch client ID should be inside of the .env. I'm going to drag this over to the side for a second. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because I've got my client ID in there. I've got the Twitch username. Unless it doesn't like the environment variable. Twitch support requires a Twitch client ID and Twitch username prop. But it makes it, the error message makes it seem like it's just not finding it at all. Let's see. Render props, or not render props, prop types, default props. So everything gets a default value of null, and they're all strings. Platform.string is required. So platform is the only thing that's required. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Another switch platform mixer Twitch iframe from styles Twitch username. That error gets logged when the username and the client ID don't have value. Does it get logged if either one doesn't have a value? Go to the highlighted line above. Oh, 105. Oh, how did you highlight? Oh, that's just based on the URL. That's cool. Process switch stream with if client ID. Okay, so this is throwing the error if one of them is not there. So it could be that maybe the environment variable is not working. So Gatsby environment variable. When you reference the environment variable in Gatsby, even though you prefix it with Gatsby, do you then have to also reference it with Gatsby in the thing? Makes sense. So like if it's Gatsby API URL, do I reference it as process.env.api URL? Since the username is a string, that should be fine. Yeah, so it's probably the .env. No, this uses the whole thing. Gatsby underscore. Gatsby API will be available to your site as process.env. In Node, your site has access to your API key using identifier. So in Node, you don't have to reference the prefix Gatsby. As a more secure, you can prefix your variable with Gatsby. Yeah, I can do that. Good point. And I'm going to refresh my chat again because it won't freaking scroll. All right, so env. Testing. All right, inside of here now, let's log process.env.gatsby Twitch client ID. All right, back in here to the application. Refresh. Undefined. Okay, so it's coming back undefined, so that's good to know. I just don't know why. I'm going to close a few of these tabs. By the way, for anybody who's here and want to check out Ryan's stuff, ryanharris.dev. Close those. All right, let me go back up to the environment variables. You provide environment variables, customize. These are variables that are defined in special places. Develop. By default, Gatsby has two environments, development. Does it have to be in a .development? .env.development? Maybe it has to be, let me try that. Maybe it has to be .env development. Give me a second. Because mine right now is just .env. So that, maybe it has to be .env development. Oh shoot, but I'm still logging it out though. I just updated it back to the real thing and I'm logging it out. I guess I should, all right, let me put that as a test also. So let me get rid of it from the first one. Twitch client. Let me get rid of that one. And then copy this and then put testing. All right, I'm gonna leave my code over on the side for a second while we debug this. Yeah, you're right. Not that big a deal. But I'll leave it over there for a second just to be safe. All right, let me let that run. It's rebuilding. Oh, I'm tired. I want some lunch. We got some leftover pizza from last night that I'm really looking forward to eating. All right. Oh, and I took out, damn. I took out the the console log. One sec. This is fun. So what is Detroit pizza? Is that actually like what is specific about Detroit pizza? All right, that works. So testing is showing up. Cool. While I'm fixing this, Chris, tell me all about Detroit pizza. And let me also ignore this file so I'll make sure not to check it in. How .env star, that'll ignore all of them. Yeah, there we go. Detroit style, the crust, the cheese, the sauce, airy crust, sort of deep dish, really? Because I'm not a huge fan of deep dish. But if it's not quite deep dish, I'm sure it'd be fun. I like pizza anyway, so I'm not complaining. Oh, I bet I know what you're talking about. Okay. Always square, sauce on top, toppings, depending on... Okay, cool. So I don't think Chicago style is the worst. Making sure I didn't log this thing out. Yeah, I didn't. Good. So what is it giving me? So mixer channel ID. That thing is still yelling at me for that. And then this makes a GET request to how does it work? Like at what point do you use the stream ID? Is it in just like a, I don't even know how it works. Are you just making a GET request? Because in the URL of the GET request is a username. Yeah, making a call based on username. So I also want to see what were prop types. So prop types for mixer channel ID is a num. That thing is still yelling at me for some reason in here. So it's saying mixer channel ID is invalid. It must be a function. So I'm not, the ID is interpolated in the iframe source. Okay. So it's still yelling at me for this mixed channel ID. Did you make Twitch client ID a string? Yeah, I mean, environment variables are strings by default, but it's not yelling at me at that. It's specifically the mixed channel ID is invalid. So that just seems odd. And yeah, they should be. So your mixer channel ID, that's the one that is a num on here. Try passing an empty function for mixed channel ID. We'll figure this thing out. All right. Where is that thing? Here we go. So what mixer channel ID. It's actually giving me IntelliSense now. Is a function, a no-op function. Do you like that any better? No, and now maybe you can tell me if I'm doing. So that's what I just did. Is that that's the right way to just define an empty no-op function, right? I can also try that. Still not like it. Did I copy it in right? Mixer channel ID 1, 2, 3. I don't know what, something's weird about that. Because your source obviously says number, but it says, are you using, in yours, have you done it without passing any of the other credentials? Like, have you done it just for Twitch in your testing? And then we're still, so I don't know about that part. Why is that? Still getting a failed. Yep, the snippets in the readme are for my testing. Still getting the message down here about the GET request. 40. What is 401? Unauthorized. So it should, I don't know. It should be getting that code. Yeah. It should be getting that ID from the environment variables. We were able to see it print out with the test, and then I put the real one in there. Let me make sure I put the real one in there. Yeah. That thing, I've got the real ID in there. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, give it a shot and let me know what you find, if anything. What is this one? Developer. Oh, do I need to authorize it to? That might make sense. Worth a shot. From the console. So I got mine. So I got the client ID. It's the same thing. I believe that's where you create. Oh, maybe I'm doing this completely wrong. I thought this was the thing that, like the secret key that I use to stream then. It's not that. It's a separate thing. All right. James Q. Quick site. I believe that's where you create. Oh, my bad. So do I need to register an application to get an API key for it? You need a key for the API call to auth. Okay. Is that with, okay. All right. Redirect. Okay. So I don't know if I need the actual redirect in here or not. Do I need to specify the redirect? URL parameter path. I don't know. Quick.com. And what is my local host? And category, website integration, not a robot. Create. All right. Where in here is there? Client ID. Got it. Sorry, I just wasted a decent amount of your time with not understanding. I set the redirect to localhost. Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, so now inside of here, I'm going to grab my .env dev and paste that thing in there. All right, just to make sure this is pulling latest environment variables, I'm going to run again. Man, I'm thinking about pizza. I would love to try some Detroit pizza right now. And I think, Ryan, probably one of the things you want to add too is making sure that people add their live redirect. Like the redirect to the full URL. If that, or the live, once they actually finish publishing. I see something. Oh shit, that's awkward. Inception, no. All right, so you guys can see that worked. I'm gonna bring it away so that Inception stops. But I think everybody see that really quickly. Watch it be responsive. All right, I'm gonna show it over. I'm gonna do it myself over here. Yeah, that works. Sweet. That's cool. So when I'm streaming, I can't have that thing open, or else I'll go into like fully wild mode. I think it actually, I don't know if this is a real thing or not. I think it actually like strained out my computer by having it be the inception stuff. Does that make sense for it to happen? It seemed like it did, but I don't know if that actually makes sense. Anyway, that works pretty cool. Yeah, that's easy. That's really easy. So you had the source stuff that you checked in, or the dist folder. That makes sense. And then this is really cool. That's perfect. And then I need to include that token. That's basically it. As long as it gets into the Gatsby, and maybe, yeah, if you might could have a section on there of like how to set or just a link to the environment variables doc for Gatsby, just to make sure people are doing it that way. Other than that, that's pretty sweet. Chris, I had to refresh the damn chat because it won't scroll. Post one of those pizza places again. Best pizza Detroit. I don't know if either of these is one of the ones that Cloverleaf Pizza. All right. Cloverleaf Pizza Detroit. The original Motor City Pizza. Yeah, this is what I was thinking about. So, like, this obviously doesn't compare, but like Little Caesars used to do a square pizza. Like, I'm assuming you can get it now, but like their $5 hot and ready thing isn't. So I used to get that from Little Caesars when I was a kid, like that type. Yeah, it looks good, man. I'm hungry. On the Blue Pan Pizza is here in Denver. Is it really? Oh, this totally makes sense then. I didn't know Little Caesars was a Detroit brand. All right, Blue Pan. Oh, that's cool. They updated with their like no contact delivery. What is that like? Not cottage cheese. What kind of cheese is that? I had Blue Plan last night. Let's see what else they got. That looks good. Yeah, ricotta. Wow, I totally blanked out on that. That's badass the way they did that. Mascarpone. Okay. Since 1946. Yeah, I love the way. See that that brings up this like nostalgia thing from my childhood of having that kind of pizza when I was young. That's cool. Well, I gotta find a reason to come up to Detroit and get some pizza, and then if you're back there by that time, we can go together. All right, I'm gonna actually go eat the rest of my pizza that I have left over. Thanks for being here and helping out the last couple of minutes. And man, chat is freaking killing me today. I got to figure this out. Place out here does a pizza with ricotta, some other stuff. Sweet. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. Ryan, cool. Glad we got to test this out. I'm glad that we got it to work. And that's a really cool feature to have. So I'm glad to have that on my page. Thanks for doing that. Chris, thanks for the pizza suggestions. Brian, thanks for the catching a couple things for me along the way, and anybody else who's out there, thanks for being here as well. Tomorrow, what am I doing tomorrow? Oh, I'm doing an AMA with Hashnode tomorrow. Sam, Julene, and I from Auth0 are going to do an AMA, and I didn't realize this at first, but it's just a written question and answer. So you just kind of respond back within the hour to the questions. I'm going to stream that as well. So I'm going to kind of talk through the stuff that I mentioned there as well. Anyway, thanks again for being here, and I'll catch you all later. See ya.